He was shouting at me, I was shouting back at him. It wasn't nice, it wasn't pleasant at all. And he snapped, and he pushed me to the floor.
Prince Harry was rushed to the hospital, unresponsive, unconscious, and completely alone. According to insider reports, it all happened late at night in Montecito. No one knew what was going on until Harry's longtime bodyguard, David Langdown, found him. And this wasn't just a random collapse. Sources say it was serious, in fact, that he had to be rushed for emergency care and kept under medical watch for hours. And here's the part that's raising eyebrows. Meghan Markle wasn't there. While Harry was being carried out of their California home, Meghan was seen at a private party at an exclusive members-only club, laughing, socializing, acting like everything was fine. But how did we get here? To understand the crisis, we have to go back to the warning signs we all missed.
It did seem a little bit strange that somehow the rules were being changed, or that I was being guided on a very different path. Or at least my partner was being guided on a very different path.
Prince Harry's recent health scare might have shocked the world, but for anyone who's been paying attention, it wasn't exactly unexpected. His history with substances goes way back, and honestly, it's been an open secret for years. Even in his own words, Harry has admitted that he turned to substances to numb the pain. He said it himself. I was willing to drink, I was willing to try and do the things that made me feel less like I was feeling. That wasn't a casual confession, it was a window into years of emotional struggle. Back in 2015, Harry revealed he was regularly using marijuana while living at Kensington Palace. But weed wasn't the only thing. He talked about experimenting with psychedelics, like ayahuasca and sea powder, yes, that's what he called it. These weren't one-time party habits either. He said these substances made him feel different and helped him escape his emotions. That sounds more like dependency than curiosity. But even before that, the red flags were already there. Royal biographers like Penny Jr. have said Harry's drug use started long before Meghan ever entered the picture. Some say it began in the early 2000s, quietly at first, with marijuana, and then escalated to harder substances. There were blackouts, panic behind the scenes, and a desperate attempt from the palace to keep it all quiet. And let's not forget the wildest part of the story. There are claims Harry once snorted vodka. That's not just reckless, that's medically dangerous. Experts say that kind of alcohol intake goes straight to the brain and can cause instant damage, but barely anyone in the press touched it because one of the only outlets that did got shut down during another scandal, and suddenly the story disappeared with it. Instead of stepping in with firm consequences or real support, what did Prince Charles do? He built a private nightclub inside their Highgrove estate. The idea was to keep things under control. But let's be real, how does giving a teenager a nightclub help anything? If anything, it just gave Harry more space to spiral without public scrutiny. The palace didn't just ignore the warning signs, they helped hide them. Every time a damaging story got close to leaking, they buried it under charity appearances or carefully timed interviews. But the truth didn't go away, it just stayed under the surface.
We haven't spoken for a long time. I love every member of my family, despite the differences. So when I see her, we're perfectly pleasant with each other.
While the media looked the other way, one man always stayed close, and he may have just saved Harry's life. That man is David Langdown. He's not just any bodyguard, he's a veteran of Scotland Yard, and he's been by Harry's side for decades. This is someone who's seen Harry at his highest and lowest points. He even received a medal from the late Queen for his service, and now he's the one who reportedly found Harry unconscious at his Montecito home. Sources say it was Langdown who made the call for emergency help, and without his quick action, the outcome could have been much worse. This wasn't just a mild reaction or a passing moment. Reports claim Harry was completely unresponsive. He had to be rushed to the hospital and kept under care for several hours before finally stabilizing. But where was Meghan? Well, not by Harry's side. In fact, her next move stunned even longtime supporters.
Now I know so much. And I'm so glad I didn't then, because I could just authentically be myself without so much preparedness.
According to multiple sources, Meghan was seen that same night at a private members-only club. She was socializing, smiling, and appearing completely unbothered, while Harry was being treated for what some are calling a medical emergency. And that timing didn't go unnoticed. Some people believe it wasn't just bad judgment. They say it looked intentional, like she wanted to be seen elsewhere. It raises real questions about where her priorities were that night. The bigger issue here is that this wasn't just any health scare, it was serious, and the fact that Meghan allegedly chose to attend a private party instead of staying close to her husband, that has people talking. Because of Meghan's history, it's raising serious questions. Long before Meghan Markle became the Duchess of Sussex, she was already moving in circles where certain things were just quietly accepted. Take her first wedding, for example, the one in Jamaica. Way before Harry ever came into the picture, guests who were there still talk about the wild atmosphere, and not in a just having fun kind of way. According to several reports, Meghan personally rolled joints and included them in the gift bags for her guests. And this wasn't some rumor. People who attended say the joints were wrapped up like party favors, right alongside more traditional souvenirs. Some guests didn't even realize what they were carrying until they landed back in the US, which could have led to serious legal trouble. Now, this doesn't mean Meghan was doing anything criminal by Hollywood standards, but it does paint a very different picture from the polished, curated version she often presents. Before she was royalty, Meghan was already familiar with how things work behind the scenes, especially in entertainment and social circles where recreational substances aren't exactly shocking. And the whispers don't stop there. Meghan's mother, Doria Ragland, has kept a low profile, but some insiders claim that she too has ties to California's underground scene. These aren't front-page stories, but people close to the family have suggested that Doria's connections may have given Meghan more access than most. Whether it was intentional or not, the image that's slowly forming is of a mother-daughter duo who know how to keep things under wraps and how to move through certain environments without leaving a trace. It's that same quiet control that has people wondering, how much did Meghan really know about Harry's struggles when they first got together? And if she did know, why hasn't she stepped up now when it clearly looks like he's slipping? That's the part that stings for a lot of people watching this unfold. It's not just about what happened that night in Montecito. It's about all the signs leading up to it that were ignored, or worse, But this isn't just about substances, or Meghan, or even one bad night. It's about a man who's been screaming for help all along. Harry has never hidden the fact that he's been through it. In Spare, his memoir, he openly admits to using illegal substances to deal with the pain of losing his mother and the trauma of growing up under constant pressure. Then there was his docu-series with Oprah, where he talked even more about how deeply the trauma affected him. He described panic attacks, anxiety, and being stuck in fight or flight mode for years. Between the ages of 28 and 32, Harry said he was at his lowest point, and during those years, he leaned heavily on marijuana, psychedelics, and alcohol to get through daily life. And just when people thought it couldn't get worse, it did, because there's one more layer to this story that's been buried for years.
I'm trying to put a stop to this because I can't ever imagine, and I don't want to imagine what that would be like for me or for my kids, especially when you talk about history repeating itself, right?
The truth is, this isn't the first time the palace has had to deal with Harry's behavior, and it's not the first time they chose silence. There have been multiple reports of incidents that quietly disappeared before they could blow up. Like the time Harry allegedly inhaled an entire canister of laughing gas during a hospital visit. Not for fun, but in a way that raised medical concerns. That should have been a scandal, but instead it got buried. Then there's the issue of Harry's military service. On paper, it looked like a turning point: discipline, structure, purpose. But insiders have claimed that even during his time in the army, drug tests were skipped or covered up. One former palace staffer said that any time a surprise test was about to happen, Harry was suddenly pulled off base. Another source claimed he combined vodka with sea powder during that period. Again, nothing came of it. Over and over again, the pattern stays the same. A report comes out, the palace reacts, not by helping Harry, but by shutting the story down. Maybe they thought protecting the institution was more important. Or maybe they didn't know how bad it really was, but either way, the result was the same. No help, no accountability, just silence. But now the silence is cracking, and the consequences are spilling into the spotlight. According to reports, Meghan allegedly isolated Harry from his family on purpose, and not just physically, but emotionally too. Remember when Harry said, "There was no compromise with the family, and I still to this day believe that this was entirely possible." That wasn't just a comment on royal protocol, it hinted at a bigger struggle behind the scenes. Many believe that Meghan discouraged reconciliation, cutting him off from the one support system he had left, no matter how flawed it was. There's also that moment from Harry's interview where he talked about his mental health spiraling. He said, "I was in fight or flight mode, panic attacks, severe anxiety, so 28 to probably 32 was a nightmare time in my life." Instead of support, some sources claim Meghan dismissed those feelings, allegedly telling him he was just stuck in the past. Imagine opening up about your anxiety and being told to get over it. It's not support, it's control. And now people are digging deeper, asking if Meghan not only dismissed his struggles, but used them to build a narrative where she was the steady one, the protector, the misunderstood wife pulling her broken husband away from the toxic royals. But what if that wasn't protection? What if it was manipulation? And with Meghan focused on image and new projects, one painful truth keeps echoing through royal circles. The one person who should have been closest to Harry didn't stay by his side when it mattered most. And the royal family? They weren't exactly rushing in either. At this point, it's no longer just a scandal, it's a royal failure on every level. So the question now isn't just about royal drama or family dynamics. It's about whether Harry can still find his way back. Is it too late for him to heal from all of this, or has the damage already gone too far? What do you think? Is Harry being protected or manipulated? Let us know in the comments below. See y'all in the next video.